lot of misconceptions about some of our players in game, or the hero pools of the different players. Some of the roster swaps they have made might seem strange to the viewer's perspective, but they also told me to remind everyone that
free Winston tip. If you jump and don't hold space, stops immediately. If you jump and hold space, you skip like a stone, and you can use this to land at your shield's edge instead of the center of it. Shield's edge. Nailed it. So, you want to be landing not in the center of your bubble, but on the edge of it so you can immediately start shield dancing. Boom. Clip.
Expect the baby-based soldier, of course, to be the difference maker, killing Tvik and, of course, applying a lot of pressure. But instead, because Swoosh and Manhattan are playing so aggressive on these tanks, Baby Bay, he doesn't necessarily get a lot of room on that soldier in the first place to be able to deal with Tvik. So
we're waiting for that EMP to come in. Tvik ends up picking a kill before they use the EMP.
What do we expect for them in the second half? Where are they at their greatest strength right now, composition-wise?
I mean, is there one?
Okay.
Well, there's the
right?
dives,
Like,
right?
they have
Come on
dives.
now.
What? Okay.
No, they have good Winston and a good Genji, right? And
Okay, but you need more than 2 people for the dive.
No, not really. We've seen in the past, Fisher makes a lot of space for the Gladiator. So, okay, then Otter realizes, I have good space. This is a good opportunity to pull the Dragon Blade. You have 5 King, who's a good Lucio, who can pull out the sound barrier. There isn't an awful lot of teamwork that actually needs to get together here, because the players at such a high level, they play a lot of ranked. They know exactly what situations they can make plays happen. And if you can create those situations with Fearless maybe controlling a lot of space, there is a lot of plays that could actually come together here, and actually we can actually see a pretty even game.
I think the what? Wait, what?
Yeah, we've seen Shanghai Dragons in the past.
I think the strength that they have is
they've taken maps of Seoul Dynasty.
Yeah, they've taken maps, but a close like actual series here.
We're holding back here. So the attackers, la 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 la, they stand on point and they started pushing it. And then the payload got too close to you and you're like, ew, payload. No, that thing's gross. And then you started backing up. Ew, payload. That thing's gross. Ew. No, 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 no. So an even better position would be in front of the payload so that they fight on the payload. And then if you die on the payload, then they can start moving it. And then there's the Jane school of thought. Then there's how Jane plays this fucking game. And the payload is here, and I'm here. So that I force the team fight to happen in front of the payload, so that while the team fight is happening, the payload is slowly creeping backwards the entire time. And then after they kill me, my friends, everyone I love, and my dog, then they can walk their sweet asses over to the payload, which has been backing up the entire time, and start.
When you found out Sinatra was playing, was your team worried at all coming into this match? No. It was pretty much as Manhattan said. We just had to expect his aggressive plays, I guess. He likes to triple blink in and like shoot a clip into someone, try to get a one clip, and then recall out. And when he does that, that like opens a window a lot of the time where like if the tracer triple blinks in, recalls, doesn't get any value, you get so much space. We get to move up because we know the tracer has low blinks and no recall. So if we just didn't die to that, if we made sure that he didn't get pulse bombs, we were golden. Yo, thank you, C-White. I appreciate it, dude.
That's for me so far. For anyone who plays Zenyatta, learn this jump, but you're going to need your best friend, the Lucio. Johnny, you said you spent hours practicing this with your former team. How complicated is this? How can people do it at
really
home?
hard. You will see that Lucio hits his head and falls down. Oh no, he didn't do that, but he fell down. And it's so hard actually to execute this jump as a Zenyatta because you have to do it perfectly. We in Misfits, we spent hours.
The primal rage from Nomi paying dividends here. The Mayhem just shuffled it around. And Sinatra, I see the crouch, mate.
That's the Sinatra I know.
Cash. But the sound barrier for Neptuno keeping the Gladiators back. Fusion stays healthy and they are on to point A. They lost Fraggy, but they should have enough. Reflect. Oh, Sleep Dart misses, and despite the grenade, I think Big Goose. Oh, they got each other. Oh. Oh man, that was a bit embarrassing for EQO, but so entertaining.
Yeah, Carpe there for the tactical crouch to round things up as
right.
usual.
You
as
never
well.
know when someone switches to Widowmaker, you got a tactical crouch, man.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
gotta duck those shots.
No, what happened is that's where Swoosh dies. He tries to wait and then go to get Swoosh, and it's too late, and he's not able to get the red.
Oh, that's a nightmare scenario, but Maniton's coming in, hopefully try and recover things here for the Florida Mayhem. Zebasai down, big barrage from up on high. He's found two and a D-suit. What a perfect response, and great timing. Direct hit with Sinatra across the map. Money ain't gonna save you there, my friend.
The point will go back to the in Dante. Dante makes it back to the payload, and then Moth uses the nano boost onto Sleepy to keep him alive long enough until he gets that Transcendence, then pops it. You have Sinatra, Nevix, and Nomi coming out of
Compositions. They've started to show us variation in general, because we haven't really seen a lot from them up until recently, but man, the stuff they've tried has generally looked very good.
Yes, and being unpredictable like the Gladiators on hybrid attack is huge, because if you can take it in your first push, you set yourself up with a lot of time to finish out the map, and it can be a rock, paper, scissors, because the Philadelphia Fusion must choose a composition without knowing what is going to be coming at them. It's going to be Tracer and Widow on point A defense. Now, we don't see this as commonly.
Is it Baby Bay or will it be Dante? Sleepy, the support leading the charge. Nevix right behind him. We got Moth in the mix as well. And it looks like we're going to see Dante, the second DPS. What does that tell you?
Dante, indeed. We would have expected Baby Bay to come in, but you got to remember these two guys are incredibly flexible players, and they can play Genji. So now you have Dive as an opportunity for the San Francisco Shock, something that we didn't previously see.
Yes, and we also, I think this means we will see some more Genji. We spoke about Dante. He can play a decent Genji and a decent Sombra, and Sinatra on the Tracer. I mean, that's pretty much a certainty, of course, but this might we see a more aggressive look coming out of the San Francisco Shock. There he is, the man himself, Mr. 150K.
Yeah, I did actually ask Sinatra prior to the game if this is going to make it a little bit competitive between him and Dante, like who gets to play the Tracer. And he said that